Good afternoon. We are here doing another visual podcast of Inner Neighborhood. We're visiting with Chris Dangerfield, branch manager producer of Fairway Mortgage, and Joanne Gogo of Fathom. And we're kind of going to review how important it is for someone to get pre-qualified before the home shopping process. And then Joanne's going to go into some details of how to prepare for that home purchase and how she makes their dreams come alive. So, Chris, I'm going to turn it over to you to kind of go through that.
Yeah, getting pre-qualified is the best thing you can do. We're going to look at your income, pull your credit, and see how much you guys can qualify for if you're looking to purchase the house. So that's the most important thing, is to get pre-qualified. We'll give you, if you need down payment assistance, we can help you out with that too. There's programs for that. So
itself, what are some of the reasons why it's so important? I mean, because you don't want to be shopping for a house you can't afford, correct?
Correct, yeah. You got to be comfortable with your monthly mortgage payment, which will show what it'll be for you on any purchase price of any home. So.
Exactly. And we also had some people visiting a recent kind of open house that we did that might have not been the house for them because of what they were pre-qualified for. So I kind of realized how important that was in the process.
Yeah, you don't want to be, well, you can go look at houses, but you don't want to be getting your hopes up for a house that's more expensive than what you can qualify for.
Right, so. And having it be.
But yeah, we'll show you exactly how much you qualify for and make sure you're comfortable with that payment. And then we'll make sure your credit's good. If your credit needs help, I can show you ways to fix that too.
Good. What type of things do you think comes up on people's credit that might not allow them to purchase a home?
I think they don't have to have credit. Well, you have to have a credit card now to have credit.
Okay.
And you don't want to have collections. Those hurt your credit scores as well. But they don't get looked at as hard, but you need to get a credit card. And there are some credit cards out there where you don't need to have your credit pulled to get them. They're secured and they will report to all three bureaus.
And that will help them get that. So, on the collections, so when you pull the credit bureau report, the collections just show on there. You just kind of let them know which places. Some people have kind of forgotten or don't even know where some of those collections lie now.
The medical collections we don't really worry about. It's the ones that are non-medical that we have to worry about. So the medical ones are involuntary. So.
Oh, gotcha.
They don't get looked at as hard on an FHA loan. Conventional loan they will, but we're mainly doing FHA for people with down payment assistance and need help with their credit.
Wonderful. So how about you, Joanne? Once they are pre-qualified, what do you think?
Also VA.
VA, yeah, we can help out with closing costs on VA loans too through Montana Board of Housing. They have a program.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So once they are pre-qualified and have that pre-qualification letter, and then they call that person to go and show them homes.
So yes. So that's when we would advise, or they may call us initially, and then most of the realtors will refer them out to a lender locally, hopefully, and to get their pre-qualifications. And it's very important to know where they're at with their budget. So like one of you mentioned, you don't want them to have their hopes so high to be looking at properties that are more than they can afford actually, or not even just afford, but where they're comfortable with in their budget. And then we come in, realtors, me, and I sit down with them and really get down to the nitty-gritty of what they are wanting. So I always have this criteria I set for them. What are your needs and what are your wants, right? So we focus on the needs, and then the wants, obviously will play a role in their decision. But it's very, very important to sit down and be realistic about what they're looking for, and we help them to find those properties that exist for them to take a look at.
Within their budget.
Within their budget.
Fulfill the needs first and then the wants as you view properties.
Correct. And hopefully the wants are part of the needs when we look at these properties.
Right.
But I don't like to walk in with a client blinded on just because they qualify for a $400,000 home. We don't want to be running around all over town if it's not meeting their initial needs.
So can you give us an example of that needs assessment? Like, would 3 bedrooms, 2 baths be a need? What kind of needs are you most concerned about?
If I'm dealing with the family, obviously the family size. The bedrooms are important, and just the part of amenities that surround that property you're looking for.
Okay.
So schools, shopping, things that they, want to be around and it's not too far for them to access. Yard, they have children or pets. They obviously want a big yard.
Those are the things that are important.
Or a yard that's going to accommodate that family size. Kitchen, a lot of people are looking for open concept kitchens. But if it doesn't exist within their budget, again, it might work for them that it's not an open concept. So there's a lot of things that we go through when we're looking at a property. For our clients.
And that's the value of the local agent.
Oh, absolutely. And, it's almost a 24-hour job because we are constantly searching, calling other agents if they have property that we may have missed on the MLS. Or, when my clients are looking through Zillow, which is really not where we want them to go, because sometimes the information on there is not accurate. But we're always searching for that property for them.
So then once you find that property, how do you give it back to Chris? Just let him know, or how does that all work?
So once we find a property, we negotiate with the other side. If I'm the buyer's agent, we're negotiating with the listing agents and their client. Once we've got an agreement in place, then we forward that contract to the lender and the title company. Obviously, they're going to need earnest money, not mandatory, but it's advisable to have earnest money. This just shows to the sellers that the buyers are very interested in the property. And then from there, we allow the lenders to do their side of the work and the title company to do their side, which is researching the properties and identifying if there's any liens on the home and things of that nature. So there's a whole team that's part of this process to include your home inspector. We always recommend, and I always recommend, that my clients hire a home inspector, if not for anything else, but to at least gain the knowledge of if there's anything in the property that they need to be aware of. And then the lender takes care of the appraisal portion of it. So the lenders hire the appraisers to come out and appraise the property. So we see them through the beginning all the way to the end of closing. One thing that I always do, and most agents do anyway, is day of closing, we like to bring the purchaser or buyer to the property and do a walkthrough before we get their signatures on those documents. So there's a lot involved.
What I really enjoy is when it's at Chris's point in the process, the lending process, and it could be with any lender, bank, credit union, they involve the insurance agent, because sometimes that debt ratio is so tight that they are calling saying, hey, we need to find an insurance policy premium that's within this range or this dollar amount for them the DTI qualifies. So there's a lot of individuals in that, and it's really neat to see that in the process and have multiple carriers to be able to provide them different ranges of pricing.
And that's part of the agreement too, is identifying an insurance company that would make sure that they can insure the property.
Wonderful.
So that is also part, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Sorry.
No apology. It's just really interesting to talk about the inspectors and those type of things, but it's so amazing the individuals that are involved in that buying process. So
right, and then in the selling part, if I may, we always prepare our sellers as well to ensure that their house is up to par, that it will pass inspection, and that it will pass appraisal. They look at different things in the property that mostly the appraiser anyway will inform the lender. Obviously the lender wants to know what's going on so that they're able to resell that property in the future, right?
Absolutely.
I think.
Yeah, we don't order the appraisal until the home inspection's been approved by everybody.
Right.
So make sure that we're not spending money that doesn't need to be spent.
And that's always a positive scenario.
Correct.
And the appraiser is going to come back on FHA loans with minor stuff. Usually it's like paint. They want paint fixed.
Hand railings.
On VA loans, they like hand railing.
Yeah.
And anything that has more than 2 steps.
Yep, that's right.
But conventional loans usually don't have repairs, so.
Perfect.
So safety
Safety is
roofs, things of that nature. But Chris really is so savvy in figuring out what would fit for the clients that he represents, and I really appreciate our working relationship.
Absolutely.
He's always answering this phone.
You have to.
So with Chris, how do they get a hold of you? Your website, address?
Cell phone number is the best, 406-590-7190.
Okay. Joanne, how about you? Cell phone, address, website?
406-781-8300. Website is www.gogorealty.com. And my email is joanne@montanabeauty@gmail.com.
Wonderful. So please support Fairway Mortgage and Joanne with Fathom Realty.
Thank you.
Thank you.